And I am the president of St. Anthony Hospital and also president of the company that will be building the campus on 31st and Kedzie. So first of all, I think this is very important. I want to thank Father Don. Father Don, you want to stand up? Father Don was generous enough to allow us to use his facility. I want to make sure I thank him and all of his team here at St. Agnes for allowing us to be here. I think that's very nice of him. Second, I want to thank Alderman Rodriguez. And the reason why I want to thank a lot of but I want to tell you why I want to thank him. For 9 years, we struggled with the city of Chicago. Struggled. Actually, struggled is a bad word. You know, it was terrible. Terrible trying to get the city to recognize the importance of doing something in our neighborhoods. And because of the fact that, you know, we have known Alderman Rodriguez for, I don't know, I think I've known him for 14 years before he became alderman, you know, when he was at Edejo. And, you know, he said, I believe in the project, believe in moving St. Anthony Hospital to a new facility. I'm going to support you. So I want you to know we all owe a lot to him. He's a very, very good, smart person that cares about the community. So I'm going to ask him, where is he? Well, would you mind coming up and let everybody see you? This is good.
Buenas tardes. Creo que tienen los audífonos, ¿verdad? Entonces voy a hablar en inglés, right? Okay. So I'll speak in English, but I do want to say a couple of words in Spanish. But it's a pleasure to be here, and it's great to see so many members of the community and interested individuals here at this meeting. My name is Mike Rodriguez. I'm the alderperson of the 22nd Ward, which essentially goes from Kedzie west and picks up parts of North Mondale and Midway Airport as well. And I'm very excited because two of the most impactful economic development projects that are community-centered and resident-centered on the southwest side in a generation will be happening here in the 22nd Ward. We just passed yesterday at City Council a major victory, a development to basically renovate what once was the Clear Courts project over on 43rd and Cicero. That's a major project. And I bring that up because that took a long time to do. My first day in office, May 19, 2019, was the day they awarded that contract to these individuals. So it took them a full 2.5 years to get to the Plan Commission and then to City Council for final approvals. So this is the next major development here in the 22nd Ward. I'm very excited that so many people have supported this development over the years. I don't know about you, but I believe that our community deserves a brand new hospital. Do you agree? Yes. Now, listen, the fact is, there are people who have issues and questions and don't necessarily potentially agree with this. And they deserve to be heard, and we need to listen to that to make sure that we're accountable to everyone in our community and that each of these developments are as accountable to our community as possible. So that's part of my job, to make sure to listen. But we have had community meetings, a number of which that many of you have attended over the years regarding this project. We will continue to do that. Moving forward, we hope to be at the Plan Commission to have the Plan Commission vote on the development of 31st and Kedzie in the next couple of months. And then thereafter, there's a zoning committee, the next month after that, and then shortly days after that would be a city council vote. So we're looking at a couple of months here until potentially have full approval on the development here at 31st and Kedzie. So I want to make sure that we continue to have these types of dialogues. I'm glad St. Anthony came to me and said they thought it was time to have this type of community meeting again, and I agreed, and I supported their efforts to host this meeting. And we'll continue to have this type of engagement and expect to hear from me. make sure to sign in so you keep on getting the updates, and so we keep on communicating with you. So thank you very much for coming out on this cold evening. I hope by the end of the day the information will make you warmer, and the sense of community hopefully will do that as well. So thank you very much, guys, for doing this here. Thank you, Father, and St. Agnes Church for hosting us here. St. Agnes is a very important institution here in our community. They've hosted community testing on vaccination. They've hosted community vaccination, actually. They've done so much important work in our community, and you can't do that without collaboration. So thank you very much. Give St. Agnes a round of applause for the great work.
So, you know, I said that I've known the alderman for 14 years. You know, I have one correction. So I'm looking out the audience, and I'm looking at people from Erejo, and I'm thinking to myself, I got it in my head. So, but actually, Enlace, president of Enlace. So, and that's, you know, I met the alderman way back when. So, good person, and I really do hope you know and appreciate the fact that he really is fighting. You know, unfortunately, we all need a fighter. Otherwise, we're not going to get anything done. So, next, you know, I'm going to ask Rita Esquiliano if she could please come up. She has an announcement.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited that we have finally gotten to this point. I personally, as an employee of St. Anthony for almost 16 years, actually 16 years on Thanksgiving is my anniversary. One of the reasons I chose to work at St. Anthony Hospital is because they are a Catholic, faith-based hospital. And one of our traditions that's very dear to my heart is that because we are a Catholic hospital, it is our mission to provide for communities in need. And for the last 16 years, St. Anthony has always looked out for families, especially during the holidays, to provide food baskets, turkeys, hams, whatever they need. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, our tradition had to come to a halt. However, we wanted to be able to continue to live our ministry today here with all of you from our family, because that is exactly how I feel at St. Anthony Hospital. We are a family. We wanted to be able to contribute to your table that you will be sharing with family and friends and your loved ones this holiday season. And so our gift to you, and for everyone that's walked in, if you did not receive a ticket, please make sure that you check it at the desk. So if you take a look at your little tickets, you'll have an X or a Y. If you have an X on your ticket, before you leave, please make sure that you check in with the table in the rear, to your right. If you have a ticket with a Y, please stop at the front desk to claim your gift. But it's really a small token of gratitude for all of you for coming, and especially because our families, and especially families here, St. Anthony has been able to provide these wonderful gifts during the holidays for the last 16 years, I think I mentioned. And it's been hundreds and hundreds of families, including a lot of families from this very community, I can say have walked through our doors, and we've been very, very rewarded to be able to see how happy they are when they leave with food, clothing, whatever they need for their families. So I hope that this is something that, even if you're not in need, that you can share with someone you love, especially during these difficult times that we're all facing. So thank you very much. And personally, I'm very happy that we are here today to talk about the future of St. Anthony Hospital, because all of you deserve the best quality care, which is what we provide for all of you, and you deserve a new institution. So I hope that you enjoy this presentation, and we welcome all of your feedback. Thank you again for being here. quick announcement. So, when this pandemic started, St. Anthony Hospital, as we always do, we hit the ground running. Guy has always been a true believer of, getting to the people, coming to the people, basically. And so we were able to hire people from our community to work as part of the St. Anthony family to go out and educate people about getting vaccinated. And so we were able to hire families, friends, people that needed jobs because a lot of people were out of work because of the pandemic, who helped us hit the ground running, talk to people in the community, answered questions, educated them about getting vaccinated. And through those efforts, we were the highest, despite us being a small hospital, nonprofit community hospital, faith-based, we were the #1 hospital vaccinating Black and brown communities in this area. So that's something that we're very proud of. Our clinic is open every Friday and every Saturday. There is no appointment needed. We are currently vaccinating 5-year-olds and up. As you all know, our kiddies are back in school. We want them to be safe. There's other variances out there now, and we want them to be able to, have what they need to fight off any type of variance that's out there, and to keep their families safe at home as well. But we continue to have our team of educators, our navigators, and schedulers who are happy to answer any questions that you may have. In fact, many of them are here today helping to facilitate today's event. And again, you are all welcome, no appointment necessary, and we look forward to serving you any Friday, any Saturday, in whatever you may need. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Okay, so we're going to start the presentation. What I'm going to ask of you is this. We're going to go through a presentation. I'm going to get some help from individuals from our architectural firm, HDR, our project manager, Joe Caprilli, and actually, just to let you know, one of the members of the architectural team actually lives in Little Village. Okay, he's a resident of Little Village. What you want to stand up? Yeah, so, he has actually been a big help being a resident of Little Village, living in a Little Village with his family. So, we're going to go through the presentation. After we go through the presentation, we're going to have questions and answers. I'm going to ask you, please, do not interrupt. Don't start yelling out, comments. Don't start disrupting. All right? That's not being respectful to the people that want to hear the presentation. After we have questions and answers, you can say whatever you want. Okay? You can say anything, and I will understand. But I'm just asking you not to be disruptive. Okay? That's pretty simple. I'm going to try to get through this thing relatively quick. Okay, and I want to leave time for questions and answers, because if you have them, I want to be able to address them. So let's start. So what I found out is a lot of people are not aware that the project is roughly a little over 30 acres on the corner of 31st and 10th. So actually, this is an overhead site, and you can see in the shaded area how large this project is. It's a very big project, okay? And we're going to get into the details of the project shortly. Next. So, some of the reasons why it took a while is because to get to this far, not the only reason, one of the reasons, is because of the fact that we started out with the area in yellow, the 11 acres, okay, that we are finally now, with the help of Alderman Rodriguez, acquiring that last piece of property. What happened was, Jim, myself, and other members of the team, we went out to the community. And we held a lot of sessions at night. And we said, okay, what would you like to put on these 11 acres in addition to the hospital? And what we found out was the list started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We heard, I know I'm not supposed to call it daycare, but I'm 67 years old. The name daycare sticks in my head. So, but a daycare center, we heard that everybody here wanted, some place where you could train to get jobs, which was important. We heard that we wanted recreation center. And as we started to go through, we started to find out that the list became so big that we had to find bigger property. And we weren't even sure if we could do it on the corner of 31st and Kedzie. And then little by little, we started to acquire land around the area. So the second one was located here. The next one we acquired. And then we acquired this property right here in red. And then by the time we acquired those, the area in blue wanted to sell it to us for, I don't know, more money than the project was worth. I mean, he really believed that he had this because it was right in the middle. But, with a little persistence, little talking, we were able to come up with an understanding, and we acquired that last piece of property. So, as you can see, the project is, large scale project. Next one. So, as we began having these meetings out in the community, talking to people, what we found out was there were many communities involved. Back to the Yards, the Village, North Lawndale, and everybody wanted, a representation of their community within this campus. And that's very understandable. But we had to figure out how to do it. So we were fortunate, some community members, they came to us, they talked to us about it, and we were able to get a sense that, we wanted to identify with Kedzie Bridge in some way, the Little Village Arch. And by the way, I hope you all know this, but that arch, actually, I was with Congressman Garcia the other day, and actually last week, Friday, and on his wall is that arch. And I said, Congressman, why is that? And he laughed and he said, that's my arch. When I was 22 years old, he goes, I was the one that talked to the people again and, had that arch put up. I never knew that. So, another little piece of history about that arch. Douglas Park was another piece. We needed, park space, which was important. And we needed an open plaza for people to come and use the plaza, to some vegetables, some fruits. We needed, space for people to bring their kids, feel safe, play, enjoy the campus, which you're going to find out in a little bit. So we did. It was inspired, and I tell this to people outside, outside of even Illinois, that this project was inspired by the community. And I think that's very important. It has to be. If you're going to use it, it needs to be yours. Next. So the campus is broken down into these areas. So health and wellness, that corner there, and by the way, I'm sorry, I'm not tall enough, I'm a small guy, but 31st runs across the top of the screen, and Kedzie runs across this side, if that helps you. So in the top corner, all of that will be health and wellness. The hospital will be located there, and other components dealing with wellness. Next to it, here, that will be community gatherings. We're gonna have space for the community to come and have concerts and interact. We've proposed a affordable housing unit there. The the daycare center is over in that area. And then next to it, on top of the parking garage, is sports and recreation. And over in the corner, which you'll see in a little bit, will be the, I call it an oversized athletic field, where, you'll have all swimming pool and, running track and boxing ring and fitness center. It'll all be located in that area. And then finally, the last piece is education and retail. And in there, we've already been in talks with a college. We've been in talks with a vocational school. And St. Anthony will participate in creating a facility where people can come and not only learn, but open up a business on site, and then we will help them move it out to the community. So we're gonna teach people that want to become independent business people how to start a business. And that will be located in that area there. And then up in the corner of that yellow area, you'll see when we do some more slides, that's gonna be the gateway into the community campus center. And that's an area where, people will be able to sell their, produce, fruits, vegetables. It'll be an open area for them. Next one. So this is the top level of the campus. And as you can see here, and by the way, again, 31st running across the top of the screen, Kedzie running across the bottom. And as I explained, you have the hospital over in the top corner here, the entryway, the open market area next to it, and then, you have the affordable housing, the daycare center, you have a bridge connecting the hospital to the medical office building, and the medical office building underneath, you'll see, because we're going to go through the details, is also where we'll have the fitness center, swimming pool, basketball courts, running tracks, boxing ring. And then on top of the parking garage, we're going to have multiple athletic fields. So that will be on top. Next. Okay, now this is the entry level. This is at street level. And so you can see the parking garage will be here. You have the fitness area, which is attached, and all the hospital. You can see playground area for where the daycare center is, over in that area there. Okay, right underneath is the community space. So in there, we're going to have a little outdoor theater where on the weekends, when the weather's nice, we can have entertainment out in that area. We have more community space next to that. Some more open area. And the objective for the open area, the reason why we're doing the open area is we want to be able to have space where families feel comfortable walking around the campus and being able to go to, restaurant or, go to shopping. There'll be a grocery store in this area over here. And we wanted to keep that open space to make it feel comfortable for everybody, to get from the hospital or retail, feel comfortable walking. That's really important. In addition to the garage parking, we also have parking. So this way, if you're using the grocery store, you can go and use the outdoor parking area in front of the retail. Okay, next. All right, so this is a video. Can we stop it? Oh, okay. So, who wants to walk us through anybody? You are? Okay, Jay, that's good. Jay is part of the team from.
I don't believe what you say because I see what you do.
I don't believe what you say because I see what you do.
So, okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. I asked you, excuse me, I asked you very politely to let. Okay. One more time. I'm going to. And if you are not going to respect the people, I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm going to ask you to leave if you do not respect the people that want to hear the presentation. Okay. Mike.
I don't believe what you say because I see what you do.
Yeah.
I don't believe what you say because I see what you do.
You know, I am sorry that you feel that way. I wish you would have at least stayed and listened. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
Y ahora yo me la pregunta si es un queso, yo le pregunto a la y ese señor que está aquí fue a cambiar los números de nuestra casa para hacer un número de televisión y cambiaron los números de la casa. Por eso no deben de creer lo que están haciendo, porque justicia lo están haciendo. No crean lo que le está diciendo, porque este señor, y tengo las fotos y tengo videos de lo que hizo este señor. Este señor fue y cambió los números de la casa. No vamos a tocar.
You know, I apologize to everybody in the room. I sincerely apologize. You know, I am open to people having questions afterwards, but not to disrupt for you to hear, okay, what we're trying to do for the community. Again, I am sincerely sorry for that, and I apologize. Okay, Jay?
Hold a second. Can you hold it?
Stand a little bit closer to the screen.
Thank you. In my family, when we get a mic, we gotta sing. The karaoke, but
Right now, it's
skip that part. Just to get everybody oriented, just imagine that bottom of the screen is the south, and the top of the screen is north. So as we move along this video, you will see almost three-dimensional quality of spaces. Now, go ahead, quick.
Jay, can you stand on this side, please?
As we are moving through the screen, we're moving off of the south to the north. This is the corner of 31st and Kedzie, coming into this market area, heading the hospital in the background. You can see the focal point then moving from south to north. And that's the southeast corner. And then this is the corner of 31st and Kedzie. You can see the hospital building sitting in the Kedzie Street and the 31st Street. You see the 31st and Spalding coming down to this area. The back of the southwest corner. Coming the other direction from north to south. Very at the end, we got these St. Anthony's Hospital, Hospitality Bridge. We got the outpatient building with the office, accelerators, incubators, an education building, and retail, parking garage in the back with the surgery center, and then the soccer field on top of it. And this is the view of a plaza that is running through east and west. That gives you a visual connection to all the spaces that you have, all the green areas, all the many public spaces that offers from this campus. Next, please. Now going to the marketplace at the corner of 31st and Kedzie, you're going under the canopy with the marketplace, that is hospital is the right side to it, and this is the view to that plaza area that is connecting east and west, shows a cafe, a lot of retail areas, accelerator buildings, incubator buildings, and all the public amenities that this campus has to offer. This is a recreational trail that is running parallel to the pedestrian walk, so that all the people can run and enjoy and ride a bike along the ways. That is incorporated into all the retail spaces. This is view to going up to the soccer field, as well as now you're walking towards over to the Kedzie Street.
Jay, thank you. You know, again, I'm really sorry that we had that disruption. I want you to know, I don't mind people being vocal. I don't mind people even objecting to the project, but there's a right way and a wrong way.
Guy, can you move over here so you're more in the picture?
Do I want to be in the picture?
Yes. Yeah. Right on this side, guy.
Okay. But I do apologize. I mean, this project is for the people. I mean, it is. It's for the community. And I understand. You know, there are many things in life I don't like, and I'm vocal on it. Okay, I do. I get it. But there's a right way and a wrong way of doing things. And to me, it's just disrespectful to do this. I want you to know we've had many meetings. I don't know, in the last 2 years, and, you know, there's always a disruption, and I get it. But, you know, today we have a presentation to show you, and, you know, like I said, I at least wanted you to see it before we start asking questions, that's all. So, City of Chicago, Department of Planning, Commissioner Cox. We had a meeting with the commissioner, and there were a couple of issues that came out of the meeting. I think they're resolved, but I at least want to tell you some of the things that we did with the city. Can you go to the next slide? So there are 12 items on this slide that was recommended by the Department of Planning for the City of Chicago, as well as the committee that is represented by a number of individuals from the City of Chicago that the Department of Planning uses. And so there was a total of approximately 16 items that they wanted changed. We actually went through and agreed with them and actually made changes to 12 out of the 16. So we tried our best to work with the City of Chicago to accommodate a number of their issues. And by the way, I want to let you know that the 12 recommendations that they made were very good recommendations. And we appreciated the feedback between the commissioner and his team and the committee that actually works with the commissioner on various projects throughout the city. But there were a couple of items that quite honestly didn't make sense to us, and we told the city that we wouldn't do. And so one of them, I will go to the next slide. Next, that's okay. There we go. So one of the recommendations was to put streets in the middle of the project, literally streets with, you know, traffic going through it, just like city streets, just like a city street grid. And the only issue was the streets that they wanted for us to put in went into dead ends. And it just didn't make any sense to us. So the first street, and by the way, this is a street not for the campus, but for people to cut through and use, they could use it off of 31st Street, they could use it off of Kedzie, but just a cut through. That's really what it was for. So what you have here is this street dead ends into CiviSpace. This street dead ends into CiviSpace. This street dead ends into a railroad track. The one across the street dead ends. Once you cross Kedzie, this area dead ends. And so, we tried very hard to explain that having streets with dead ends really is a safety issue. And it really doesn't do the campus any good for many reasons. Number one, it will take away more space. We would have to cut down the size of the recreation field because, as you can see, it's too large. They thought maybe we could relocate everything to the front of Kedzie, but again, it wouldn't fit there. So a lot of recommendations, but as we explained, it actually would be an issue in terms of trying to fit everything that the community wanted onto the campus with the streets. So this is one area that we were firm on, that we were not going to put streets in. And I'm not sure how this is going to go. I mean, quite honestly, the city of Chicago could say, no project. Bigly. Absolutely. Actually, at one point in time, I was told in this meeting, that there are other projects in the city of Chicago that are willing to cooperate with the city and do everything they wanted. And if I wasn't willing to do everything they wanted, okay, then they'll go work on other projects. And when they get around to ours, they'll get around to it. So I think, and I hope we're over that. But I hope that the city of Chicago will recognize that, this community needs something new, needs a new hospital. I think, the city is smart enough to know that. I know the alderman is. Actually, he was on the call and he was fighting for us. So that is very positive. The next one. Yeah. Listen, as many applause as you want to give the alderman, I think that's great. Everybody, because we need fighters, okay? We absolutely do need fighters. So this was an issue that we pointed out to the city also in terms of how people would be able to, enter the campus and have the ability to walk onto the campus. One of the issues that the city brought up is a lot of people are going to walk from their homes to the campus. And I said, well, that may be, and I'm sure some people will, but I think a lot of people are going to drive or they're going to take transportation, the bus. One of the things that we are doing with CTA is coming up with shuttles that we're going to be able to use to get people who have no transportation to the site. And I have to give credit to the CTA. They are Chicago Transit. They are very receptive to helping people with transportation to the site. So that is very, very, very good. The area up there where the hospital is, we worked with the ambulance companies in terms of the best way for them to get in. And so they're going to come off of 31st, right onto the hospital campus. We have staircases and elevators on each side that will take people up to the athletic fields, and you're going to see what they look like in a little bit more detail. So again, we worked with other departments within the city of Chicago. They were very helpful in helping us put together the structure so people can maneuver in and out of the campus safely and easily. Next one. Okay, so these are more renderings, And this rendering up here shows you a view from, now 32nd Street is a street you're not familiar with, but you know 31st. So there will be a light as you head south, and that area will be 32nd and Kedzie. That will be the street going, one of the streets going into the campus. This area over here is on the corner of 31st and Kedzie, and this is the market area, so that will be on the corner. The next one is a drop-off area. So in this area here, we'll have Uber and Lyft and taxis, over in this area here. That'll be a drop-off. Or if you have family members that want to drop you off, that'll be a designated drop-off area for people. And this area over here is on 31st Street. And then number 4, this will give you the view over by the plaza and the daycare area. This is the drop-off for daycare. Next. Okay, this is a view of the drop-off area for the hospital. As you can see up on top, this is the bridge connecting the main hospital to the medical offices. This is a view of the sidewalk retail area. This area over here is the drop-off a little closer. So I was pointing to this area over here. This is the drop-off area for ride shares. And then number 4 is a little look at the soccer fields. Next. Okay, Jay, are you going to come up again? You want to go through? So what we've done is we've sliced through the building to show you a little more detail as to what will be inside each of these buildings.
Actually, go back to the slides before. Thank you. So I know the guy has explained this image a lot better than I can. But one thing that I wanted to share with you guys, as I have worked on this for a long time now, that St. Andrews could have built a lot more buildings in this campus and a lot better, but they have chosen to create a campus that is for the community, that is not just for the hospital, but also has a communal spaces that all of you guys can enjoy and actually work along the way with the hospital amenities, right? So there are public spaces and amenities that they have chosen to build in this campus. So amount of acreage that they have used to create a green space is just a tremendous amount. So I just wanted to point that out to you. And some of those images here does show that as an exemplary of how took a 200 feet yard crossing all the way from east to west, creating a plaza that incorporates a retail, cafe, gathering spaces, the amphitheater, the daycare, play area, children's play area, the green spaces. There are a lot of things that we have not been able to show to you today, all of them, but it's starting to show in some of these images. Next image, please. This is a section of it. This is one of the views that you will see at the housing level that he's talking about, the affordable housing level, say the 4th floor level. In your home, looking out, what you are seeing is that amphitheater that you see in the front, the gathering area in the foreground, and then it goes further all the way out to the kitchen. And the building section cut is what it's showing is that the lower 4 levels of this building section right now is the fitness area. And fitness area, in the summertime, the swimming pool can spill out to the public spaces. Up above that, there's a basketball area, boxing range, gyms that people can use. And up above that, at the top of parking deck is the 2 soccer field and a baseball field that can be used by the public. That actually has a visual connection back to the plaza that always be able to see through. So those are the kind of public amenity spaces that St. Andrews choose to provide. This is a general section cut as to how the building is seen. Coming from the west side, top of the parking garage, you see the soccer field up above. And then all of the public amenity spaces that are on plaza level. And then the hospital that is sitting up against the 31st Street. Next, please. This is a cross section that's similar to that. Again, the parking garage, the soccer field up above. This is a section cut of the school. And then the lower floor is all of the retail spaces. And then the retail spaces and incubator. And then the third, Kedzie Street, we're seeing on the right side of the screen. You want me to continue? Okay. This is a traffic diagram. We just want to quickly just hit it to you. The service drive that you see is all the way around and over that serves all the buildings and what the hospital needs. And then the orange line is where the public transportation will come in and come to the parking garage, park, and then go back out to the places they need to go to. And then the green area is the shuttle services that a guy has talked about that can bring you from the CPA line back to the campus back to the CPA line.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Cifuente.
Good evening, I'm Jim Cifuentes. I'm the Senior Vice President of the hospital. And before I get started, I want to let people know that all these ideas that you're going to see here actually came from the entire communities that we serve. And we took those ideas that when people were meeting with us and said, we'd like to see an outpatient center, part of the hospital. We want to see places for innovation. And we want to see areas where we could have education, a daycare center, recreation. What does that mean? So a lot of times people say, yeah, but we aren't going to get the best. And so I grew up in the backyards. And I say, why can't we have the best as well? Why can't we provide it at this time for people that we are today and for the children that we have and give them nothing but the best? A hospital that serves the Latino, African American, Asian American communities that's going to have the best technology. And all of us are welcome. People say they want daycare, but not just the traditional daycare. We have to have daycare because a lot of our folks don't just work 8 to 4. They work first shift, second shift, and third shift. And so we said, yes, we're going to provide you everything that the community faces today, but in a way that other people couldn't or wouldn't dare to dream of. And so we took those ideas and we formulated them and we said, here it is. People also talked about housing. And that's a big question. What we are saying is whatever housing we put on there, we say affordable, it's going to be defined by the community, the people that live here. And whether it's going to be the innovation center, so what is innovation? Places for people to be creative. The ideas that everyone here, myself included, like my mom and dad, they believed in me. Unfortunately, I can stand here, I'm a senior vice president. I'm a reflection of our community. The only difference is I didn't have state-of-the-art. I can only imagine what our children will have when they have all these ideas that you all gave to us. And we put it to make it a reality. So the ideas that we have here of housing, daycare, innovation, education, vocational opportunities for work. We're a hard-working community. We're a community that doesn't always get a break. You know what? We always thrive on challenges. And those challenges make us who we are. A fantastic people, a fantastic community. And we're deserving of all the ideas that you gave us to come to fruition. Thank you.
One of the areas that it's important to know, developers, and I'm not a developer, you know. I mean, I had to start this company to build this, but I'm not a developer. Developers they develop because they make money. That's what it's about. That's their career, that's their job, they make money. What we're gonna do, and I think some of the reasons why people didn't believe us, is after all the expenses are paid for this campus, you know, the electricity, the maintenance, all the expenses that are part of running a campus like this. We're going to subtract that from the rent. The rent comes, so St. Anthony Hospital pays rent, the grocery store pays rent. We have the hospital's not for-profit, it's a not-for-profit, but it needs to pay rent. And so once we collect all the rent, daycare center, not-for-profit, but they'll pay rent. After we collect the rent, we subtract the expenses, it leaves us with money. Money that usually would go to the developer. In this case, it will go into a foundation every year. The board of the foundation will be community members throughout all the communities we serve. And that will change every year. So everybody gets a chance to participate. And then we're going to allocate the money to community programs, whether it be food bank, or it may be a program at the daycare center, it may be towards the vocational school. But the problem that I used to face when I was a kid was the city or the county or the state or the federal government would give money for programs and then it would go away. It was gone. And maybe, my sister got a chance to be in a program and I didn't because I was younger. The money's dried up by then. We're trying to avoid that. And so by having this money at the end every year, we're going to be able to put the money back into programs in the community. And the board that will represent the community, okay? It'll be like any other grant program where, you have to come in and present your program, what you need the money for. But as long as the campus exists, there will be money for the community. And it's a situation where, quite honestly, I know every developer can't do that. But I wish there would be developers that would at least give some of their money back into communities. Maybe not in the suburbs, okay? Maybe not on the Magnificent Mile, I'm not talking about that. But in the communities that have programs that need those programs to do better. So this is an important part of the campus. And honestly, the hospital was the first reason why, I fought for this and everybody else on my team fought. This is the second reason. This is very important. Next one. Okay, going to the game. So this is a very fast video of walking up the stairways, and I want you to know that there are elevators on each side of the stairways, but this is taking you on to the multi-purpose field. So, it's big enough, and that's the reason why we didn't want to cut the sides. We didn't want to make it smaller. It's big enough to be able to host multiple games on the field. And, if somebody said to me, well, there already is fields down the street. We don't have enough play area for kids. We don't. We need safe areas for people to feel comfortable, okay? Comfortable and safe where they can play, the sports that they want to play. And we're still talking to people about it, but we're actually, we think we have a donor that will be able to convert this into a winter sports use. Either put a cover on it for the winter, or we have another group of people that thought about doing some winter sports on this campus. But our objective is to use this campus year-round if we can. That's really important to us. We want to be able to have the children of the community be able to use not only the facility with the pool and the basketball courts, but use the fields on top of the parking lot. Next. Hospital visit. So, this is, a view going to the hospital. And, you can see the drive. By the way, hold it right there. So, can you stop it? Yeah. So over this area, we kind of went through it real quick. We have these trucks here. And what they told me was, those were trucks to identify, on 31st Street, if you ever gone on 31st Street. And, I know that several of the people on my team have gone there. We have food trucks, right? And they're over on 31st Street, Kedzie. So what we decided was, let them come onto the campus, it's safer, easy to use. And so we created an area, carve out, where, food trucks can come. And so they can participate, in addition to, the restaurants and the coffee shops we have. And we want to try our best not to leave anybody out. That's really our objective. So this is going to the hospital. So, I completely understand. I've been at St. Anthony for 14 years. And it's old. It's absolutely old. And it's difficult sometimes to keep the maintenance going on the building. And, what we need is, a new hospital for all the people in the community. Somebody asked me, oh, are you excited because now you're going to take people with commercial insurance? I don't want people. I mean, if they come, I'm not going to turn them away, but this is really for the people of the community. We're just going to take St. Anthony and move it, to a new location down the street. But, we're still going to have pediatrics. We're going to still have our children's hospital. We're still going to have labor and delivery, mother baby, behavioral health. All the items that we have in St. Anthony Hospital, we're going to have there. Only it's going to be newer. Each room will have a single bed, which is, having double beds is not good. So, single beds. And then we're going to do something a little bit different. So, you go to these big hospitals, they have all the technology. They do, okay? They have what they think are the best of the best. I don't come from hospitals. My background's not hospitals. But where I come from, technology is far advanced over hospitals. And we're going to take some of this technology and we're going to use it in this new facility. Because honestly, when I leave here, and I'm going to leave here, I'm 67 years old, and when I'm done, this thing, I'm be like 71. When I'm done and I leave, I want to leave and make sure that this hospital, that you're all proud of. That's what I want. Our hospital's perfect? Absolutely not. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Myself, my wife, my son, my daughter, all get their care at St. Anthony. Every one of them. And I have, as at the hospital, I have commercial insurance. If I wanted to, I could go to Northwestern. I had 2 surgeries. My daughter's had a surgery. I believe in St. Anthony Hospital. Are we perfect? Do I get upset at the hospital? Do I get upset sometimes with the people? Okay, you bet I do. I get very upset. But we always try to do better. Always. And I want to give the community not only a new hospital, but a hospital they'll be proud of. And just like we did with the campus, we're going to get whoever wants to get involved in the hospital, the design of it, I will welcome you. The more involvement I get, the better off it is. That's all I can tell you. Better off. Okay, next one. Okay, Joe Caprilli. So, Joe Caprilli has been, I don't know, him and I have partnered this thing for 10 years, and he's hung in with me. And, you know, I called Joe one day and I said, I need your help. I think the project's gonna move forward. Could you come and help me with this? Joe Caprilli, by the way, is the individual that redesigned and built Soldier Fields. Okay? So when you drive by Soldier Fields and you see, you know, all the work, and you've been here for a long time, you know what it used to look like? It was Joe Caprilli. That was one of many of his projects. And he's done work in China, he's done work in other countries outside the United States. And you know what? He said, I know you love this community. I'll help you. So Joe's been a pit bull. Okay, I'm like a pussycat. You know, I really am. I'm like a pussycat. But Joe is the pit bull. And he really has also helped to push this project along. So, Joe, you're off.
Thank you, guys. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to talk a little bit about timeline and activities about the project. And to be honest, to move forward, we almost have to move backward. Now, I know this is very hard to see this, but we are going to post this presentation on our website. So you'll be able to read that later moving forward. This process began, as Guy said, this time about 2 years ago. And it began with something called a redevelopment agreement, an RDA. And that's the agreement between CSDC, the holding company, and the city of Chicago. That discussion began in February of 2021. We got it approved and signed in April of 2022. No, began in we got it signed in 21, excuse me. It took us 14 months to get it approved. Now, as a part of that agreement, with something a little bit unique, the city came in and said, you know, we'd like you to sell part of this land to an adjacent property owner, Citizens. And Guy agreed to do that. Working with Alex Pucios and the alderman, they came together on an agreement for selling part of the land that would benefit our neighbor and not have a major impact on us. That agreement is finalized in draft form. Next slide, please. As Guy mentioned, we have been going since April, ongoing discussions with the Department of Planning. And they've been intense, and they've been very beneficial. We've learned a lot. We've incorporated a lot of their ideas into our project. We began those in April once the RDA was approved. Now, the Department of Planning has also initiated a few new procedures, and one is called the Committee on Design. You may have read about it and heard about it. The Committee on Design, the city's brought in established real estate and architectural individuals to comment on the project. And we have that presentation. We spent the time going through it. We received comments, and as Guy said, we got about 16 comments back. 12 of them we incorporated into the design. The other 4 really did work for us. Not only did work for us, had a detrimental impact on the project. So we did not, we discussed those through. And as of actually today, we continue discussions with the Department of Planning and to incorporate their input into the project. Now, what we have to do to transfer the land is get a plan development, and that goes back through Commission of Planning and City Council. So we drafted that and we submitted it for comment in October of this year. We went back and got comments on October 12th. Actually, on Wednesday, the plan development was introduced to City Council, which is an important step. And we're working very hard to have our project introduced to the Plan Commission in December. Now, why is that an important date? That's a very important date because this is a huge project. And to date, all the money that's been spent has come out of the hospital. We have to finance this project. And we need to get into the financing markets early next year because the time is right. We're coming out of COVID and it's the right time. And even after we get Plan Commission approval, it's going to take us another 3 months to go through all the appropriate steps to have the land transfer. So it's a very important milestone for us, and we've got the city's support to make it happen. Next slide, please. Now, while we're doing all that, there's other activities that are going on in the project. Anybody that knows the project and the property knows there are existing industrial structures there. So we're moving forward with demolition of those structures. We've hired a contractor, we've had a community meeting, I think 50 of you attended, we got good impact input, and we're waiting for our permits from the city of Chicago. And again, I appreciate the Alderman's help working us through the process to get those permits. Once we get them, we'll move forward demolition, which will take about 2 months. At the same time, we are doing environmental testing of the property of the Washburn site. It's a very thorough environmental testing, and we have to do that to accomplish the plan development. We've been out there with rigs, drilling holes, looking and analyzing material, and we have our final report done, which will be submitted to the IEPA on Monday. They have up to 12 weeks to review and comment on that. So each of these segments are really time-consuming and interface with each other. And the last one, really moving the design forward. Everything you've seen is done by our architect, HDR, and it's the planning conceptual phase. But we need to move into the details of the project. The first step of that is called programming, where a team of experts from HDR meet with the hospital staff and go through all the requirements of the hospital. That'll take about 20 weeks to get that together. Once we have that defined, we'll move into the next phase of the project, which is called schematic design, into design development, getting documents for construction, and starting construction. The goal is we will have start construction in 2023, and a guy is pushing us to have this done by 2026. So that's an overview of where we went, where we're at, and where we're going.
Okay, I think we got one slide and we're done. Now that, I need a round of applause. Okay, good. Okay, so one of the things that the commissioner said to me was, you need to show the community what the campus will look like. That's exactly what we're going to do right now. There it is. So, you know, the commissioner has the sense that, or he thinks, we're going to open up St. Anthony Hospital or leave the rest of it vacant. Okay? We're not doing that. We're absolutely not doing that. First of all, it doesn't make any sense from building, okay? Costs you more money if you do it in pieces. And I'm trying to minimize the amount of money, you know. The more donations I get from rich people, the better off we are. Because that means more money goes back into the community. This is what it'll look like. Commissioner told me I need to show the community what it's going to look like. There it is. Now, the only area that won't be finished is the affordable housing. And the reason being is either Joe or myself know enough about affordable housing. Okay, it's not like we're going to put up just apartments. It's got to be affordable. And the alderman gave me a goal of making as many units as physically possible. You know, he said 30%, and I said, I'll do it. And if I get 40, I'll do 40%. The rest of it is going to be medical students. Okay, we'll use it because we have medical students, residents. Okay, they'll use a portion of it. And we're actually, I can't say about maybe Ronald McDonald. I can't tell them that. Okay, I can tell you that. Okay, and actually we've been talking to Ronald McDonald about they are looking at putting a Ronald McDonald house on the campus. You know, there's one at Northwestern, but actually they thought it would be good we thought it would be good if we could do the same thing for our community. So that is the only area that won't be finished, and that's in the back corner. And the reason, again, is because we need to learn more about how to do this thing right, and again, get input from the aldermen, get input from the community in terms of 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, okay, pricing, how much should the units go for? All of that is important to do it right. So, so that's it, okay, that's it. Now it's question and answer. Okay, sir?
My question is, will the hospital be a trauma center?
It won't. It will not be. We're gonna go for a level 2, but so let me tell you why. The question was, will the hospital be a trauma center? And my answer was no. We're gonna go, so a trauma center is a level 1. Level 2 is like less trauma, okay? Like the big trauma.
Little Village has a lot of trauma.
I know. No, absolutely correct. They do. But think about it. Cook County's a trauma, okay? Sinai's a trauma. I don't wanna duplicate from them. I will tell you this though. My wife is a psychologist, and I actually talked her into coming and working not working, but spending some time. She has her own private business. And I asked her, I said, we have a lot of trauma. We have kids and adults, and so she started 3 years ago. And for the first, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months, okay, she had very few people. Now, today, okay, she's booked solid, and now I'm trying to convince her, okay, to pick up another half a day if she could. We need to get more people that can handle mental trauma. We have a lot of mental trauma in the community, a lot. And we need to deal with that, not ignore it. By the way, thank God I'm married to a psychologist, because trust me, I need it, okay? I need it. So, next question. Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything going to be built on the east side of Kedzie? And then that right there is the 12th ward, and then you've got the 22nd ward. So are they working together or what?
So actually, the good news about the commissioner, okay, and there is good news about, you want to do that? Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, is there any plans to coordinate? There's an empty land across the street from this project, and the question was, and it's a very good one, is anybody working to coordinate that to make sure that they complement each other? And I have to give the commissioner credit, the commissioner Maurice Cox, for planning. Initially, somebody wanted to put an Amazon warehouse facility, okay? And I understand it's jobs and everything, but he said, no, if you're gonna put this thing up, you wanna have something that'll complement it across the street. So, some more community programs and, because there needs to be more community programs. And so I really believe the city and the commissioner of planning is, along with the alderman, although it's another alderman, that, but hopefully they'll coordinate. And we're talking to them, because now that he said it, it makes sense. You need to make sure that it all coordinates, gives jobs. And by the way, this campus is going to have more jobs. I mean, people forget about that. So a hospital's going to end up, hiring more people. And so not only that, but then you have a new college, you have a new vocational school. These aren't relocations, these are new facilities, okay? So there are going to be added jobs here. Same thing needs to be across the street. Added jobs, but focus on the community. Social media. Why are you still waiting for permits? Okay, well that's a good question. So the permits come from the city, And unfortunately, and I want you to know that the alderman has made at least 5 phone calls. But, you know, that is the obstacle that we've had for 9 years. The city, you know, and again, I want to make it clear, when I say the city, it's not the alderman, because the alderman's fighting for all of you. But somehow City Hall, okay, doesn't recognize our community. They don't. I don't know why. Maybe we need to get a little louder. Maybe we need to get, Father Don, am I allowed to say like pissy? Is that all right? Yeah. You know, maybe we can get a little pissy, you know? I mean, no offense, but, you know, I grew up in a neighborhood just like this, okay? I lived in the projects as I was growing up, okay? You don't even have the projects. Where I live, people don't want to even go. I grew up in Cleveland. And I'm telling you, that my parents came here from Italy, they didn't speak English. I'm telling you, okay, at the end, we need to be loud and we need to scream. And we need to organize. I don't care, it doesn't have to be for this campus. Whatever you want, okay, you have to be in City Hall space. That's really what it comes down to. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't have to be about the campus. You want somebody with you, I'll go with you. So will Jim Seaver Wednesdays. So will anybody from St. Anthony Hospital. But yes, the city is holding up the permits. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I have a question for Mike. My question is.
Oh, you know what? Hey, come on up here. Come on up. Do the microphone. Microphone.
Bueno, buenas noches. Mike, esta pregunta es para ti. El desarrollo se ve bien bonito, se ve chingón, o sea, como te lo pintan, se ve bien. Pero mi pregunta es esta, que ¿qué tipo de protecciones puedes poner tú, puedes prometer poner para que los impuestos de la comunidad no suban? Que luego van a subir las rentas. Ya se han visto que otros desarrollos similares a este, y no fue un desarrollo grande, fue en lo que era el 606, ¿ok? El promedio de las casas subieron, los costos de las casas subieron al 400%. El simple desarrollo que hicieron en cerca de McKinney Park con el Call Center o con el LA Fitness, yo hice una búsqueda y hice una encuesta y el promedio de las casas, el precio de las casas subieron de 200-300%. Si no ponemos protecciones para mantener la cara y la cultura de esta comunidad, este tipo de desarrollo, tan bonito que sea, tan chingón que se vea, no va a ser para las personas que están aquí. Si las personas que están aquí ganan menos de $30,000 al año, que es casi 80% de la comunidad, que son personas obreras, son personas que son personas ambulantes, esto no va a ser para nosotros. En 15 o 20 años, toda la cara de esta comunidad va a cambiar. Va a ser lo mismo que pasó en Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park era de una comunidad puertorriqueña. Pilsen, lo que está pasando ahorita en Pilsen, ¿ok? Tan bonito que sea, yo tengo miedo que esto no va a ser para nosotros.
I think that's a very important point, because when you think about what's happened west of us, and the fact that many immigrant families have been pushed out, we need to be very conscious and careful that what we do here in the community is for our community and for the people who lived here for years. So that's why I didn't want an outside entity to come in here. This is an organization that's been here for generations. This is an organization in St. Anthony that has been the #1 hospital in the city of Chicago in vaccinating people from our community. The #1 hospital in the city of Chicago that's vaccinating people. So that's what this development has to be for. Our community deserves good things. Our community deserves beautiful things like this. But at the same time, I agree, our community deserves to stay here. And the fact is, I think we need to work with our Cook County assessor to make sure that all the exemptions are in place for people in this neighborhood. We need to make sure that we do not allow developments that are not for the community. For instance, I've opposed a number of developments here in the neighborhood that would not be for our community. I also promised to check in with the community. And when we had 200 people at my little grammar school several years ago and asked them, what should we do? Should we support the 10 acres here for Cinespace? Should we support it for St. Anthony? Or should we do something different? People were loud and clear as to what we should do. So I will continue to check in with people. And you know what? We might not all agree on everything, and that's okay. I will continue to keep my voice open and hear from folks throughout our community about what people want to prioritize. That's my commitment. You heard it here. I'm sure there's a lot of people here listening to this, and I will continue to move on that kind of agenda. Thank you.
So, sir, you're absolutely right. I would be concerned about it also. Here's what I'm going to tell you. So, developers, they go out and they borrow money. And I'm going to have to borrow some money, I'll tell you about that. They have to borrow money. The reason why the rents are expensive, they have to pay back that money, plus interest, okay? So, before I even started this, I did my own research with consultants that I know. The way we're going to do this is 1/3 I have to go out and borrow. Whatever this costs, I have to borrow 1/3. 1/3 is going to come from federal grants. That's one of the reasons why I was in Washington talking to Congressman Garcia and Senator Durbin. And the reason why I told them I wanted grants is because of the fact that I want to make sure that parking is not Chicago parking, okay? I want to make sure that rents, that's one of the reasons why we're not putting up the building right away. I have to make sure that I can put that building up for zero, okay? Where I don't have to owe anybody any money. Zero. Now, I have to charge rent to be able to pay for maintenance, okay? Because I want the building to look nice. I want to keep it up. But the objective is to make it affordable for the people that live here. For the people that live here. And I will keep coming to meetings. I will be here. You'll see my face. I'm not going anywhere. I agree with you, okay? A lot of people talk. They don't deliver. I'm not that good of a talker, okay? I know that. And sometimes I have a little bit of a temper, and I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, the 14 years I've been at St. Anthony Hospital, okay, my word has been good. My father told me, okay, long time ago, the only thing that you have are the clothes on your back and your word. That's it. The government can take away everything else from you. And so I remember that. I hear what you're saying. I do want to build something nice. And I found a way to do it. I want to take money away from people that have money. So another third is going to come from wealthy donors. And because I'm loud, and because I have no problem getting in people's faces, I will raise a third of this money from wealthy people. Now, a developer can't do that. A for-profit developer can't do that. Because they're going to take the money and they're going to stick it in their pocket, and nobody is going to give them money for free. Yes, ma'am.
Mi nombre es Dolores Castañeda y soy de aquí de esta comunidad. Y mi preocupación de esto es que si este hospital va a ser para toda la comunidad en realidad, porque muchas de nuestras gentes no tienen aseguranza Y ya en todos los hospitales siempre cobran. Y si no hay aseguranza, no hay servicio. Entonces, lo que quiero entender, si este hospital va a ser de verdad para nuestra comunidad, inclusive para personas que no tenemos documentos o que no tenemos aseguranza. Mi otra pregunta es que si todos los negocios que van a estar aquí van a ser negocios de nuestra comunidad o van a venir de afuera a ponernos los negocios que nosotros no queremos aquí. Ya tenemos vendedores ambulantes, tenemos nuestros propios negocios que si vienen de afuera van a perjudicar a nuestras personas que de eso viven. Entonces, esa es mi pregunta para esta gente. Saber que sí es, de verdad va a ser un hospital transparente y un hospital que va a ayudar a la comunidad y que no nada más van a hacer palabras.
Okay, let's start with the hospital. So, I have 1,000 employees. Some of them are doctors. They get a paycheck. And so I need to make sure that I pay them. Now, the hospital takes about 80% what they call managed care. Okay, Medicaid, 80%. I have about 15% what they call self-pay, which is, people they can't pay. So as an example, last year, close to $16 million was just, we wrote off, meaning we lost, just said no. I understand that, okay? I always say we have to find a way to balance everything, okay? Because right now, nurses, they'll go across the street to another hospital for $3 more, $2 more. And if I want to keep them, and I want to keep the hospital open, I have to pay them more. And I understand that. I understand. Every year, 14 years, I've made sure every one of my employees got an increase. Every year. So, but to do that, I have to have money to be able to pay them and to give them increases and to give them competitive benefits. I'm sorry, the hospital is also a business. But I have to tell you, it's like, do I know everything that goes on in the hospital? I'm sorry, I don't. But when I'm confronted, I don't turn anybody away. Jim Cifuentes doesn't turn anybody away. But again, I have 1,000 employees. Sometimes things happen and we don't know about it. But I will tell you that 80% of managed care, I'm suing the state of Illinois. You know what it's like to sue the state of Illinois? I mean, because of the fact that they don't pay. But we found a way to keep the hospital open. And when we build a new one, again, the concept is going to be to get this building for, as much money from, donors and from the federal government as we can. So this way, I can continue to take even more people that don't have insurance. So, I don't know, Jim, how long we keep records. I don't know, Jim, when we talk about, people without insurance or without papers, or they show up at St. Anthony Hospital and we take care of them. So this is not going to be converted into a hospital for the rich. It's not going to happen. Absolutely not. Now, with regards to the retail, it's going to be a combination of both. By the way, when we went out to the community, that's what they said. They said, we want a combination of local businesses and we want some, businesses from outside the community. We want a mixture of both. And so that's what we're looking for. Now, again, the last thing you want is, I don't think you want, I hope you don't want, is to put this thing up and have it closed because of the fact that you can't pay the bills. Am I right? You don't want a situation where you open it and 3 years from now it's closed because we gave everything away. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance to keeping it going for another. St. Anthony Hospital, actually, last year, 125 years old. I want this place to be 125 years old. So, for us to put money back into the community, I have to have a balance. I said I would never lie to you, and I'm not going to. I can't give away everything for free. I will do my best to do as much as I can, but think about it. You go to work, you do it for free? I know my employees don't want to do it for free. So, there's going to be a balance. But housing, the retail piece, I have to do both. You know where I'm going to get my money on the retail? I'm not going to do it from the local businesses. I'm going to get it from the big businesses, the grocery store. You know, if there's a Dunkin' Donuts there, okay, I'm going to get it from them. But I'm also going to have the local food trucks there, and I'm going to have some local businesses there. But it has to be a balance. The mayor announced Humboldt Park and North Shore are receiving $126 million in projects covering housing and community. Why not Little Village? Oh, what's that? The Pilsen's getting it too? Oh, why not? Yeah. Well, why not? Why not Back of the Ark? Why not Pilsen? Why not North Lawndale? I don't know. You tell me. Have you got money for? Have you seen any money come in? So I talked before about being vocal. So why are they getting it? You know, I think I know that doesn't the mayor live close to Humboldt Park? Doesn't she live on the other side of Jim, do you know, doesn't she? What's that neighborhood? Logan Square, that's next to Humboldt Park, right? Well, this way she could be closer to her $126 million project. I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for why the mayor. But, you know, it would be nice if she put money in here. By the way, just want to let you know, this piece of property that we're buying, the property was appraised at $2.2 million. That's what the city appraisers appraised it at. You know how much St. Anthony has to pay for it? I have to pay the city of Chicago $5 million. Other people get property for free to put projects on that make money. For us to get this project, I had to give the city $5 million for a piece of property that's contaminated. Oh, and then they want me to put $3 million into a fund, okay, for cleanup, which is fine. We're going to do that anyhow. We have to pay $5 million for a piece of property worth $2.2 million that's going to be used for the community. So, you know, it's like anything else. Not everything in life is fair. And I get it, okay? And I'm still not done with that piece. What percent will be affordable housing? Actually, I mentioned that. The alderman wanted 30%, and I said I'm going to try to shoot for 40%. Why will affordable housing be for medical students? Because we have medical students for the campus. There's not going to be a lot, but I offered to give them 10 units, 10 single bed units for medical students, because they come in here, they get their education over at St. Anthony Hospital, and they found out they had no place to stay. So they usually come in and they rotate. So they come in for 3 months, 6 months, and then they rotate through. So, you know, as part of that, they can actually get their education at St. Anthony and then be right on the campus to spend time. Mayor, we really got the mayor. Okay, those are these over here. Any other questions? No? Okay, so we're going to do the raffle, so don't leave. Is that good? Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. Please, you know, I hope you're gonna spend Thanksgiving with your families. I hope to the best of your ability, you have some sort of a gathering to be with people that you love. I pray that you have a safe Thanksgiving. And I want to thank you again, everybody. Back of the Yards, Little Village, North Lawndale, everybody, Brighton Park, everybody that's here, I want to thank you for coming. What did I do? Yes, sir.
In terms of,
Today's session. Come on. Because everybody will hear you. You mind? You don't mind.
So, in respect to today's session and the opportunity, thank you for doing this, because I think you're doing it the right way. I also work for a community organization, and I've shared this information with our constituents, and I've always talked about this project, and I'll send you this a little later in terms of being a champion for it, because I do believe that this community does deserve a first-rate hospital. So know that I work for the YMCA, which is the Ronald YMCA of 2700 Southwestern. And sharing this, there is some concern, obviously. And everybody wants a first-rate hospital. This community does deserve a first-rate hospital. And I should also, leading into this, I should say that we should also recognize the staff of St. Anthony. All the interaction that I've had with Jim and the staff that I've always walked into the building have always been first-rate staff who have been professional and courteous, and are folks that, in my experience, have a genuine concern for the community. So, complimenting your staff in terms of the work that they're doing, because they truly care. I guess in terms of the impact, it's clear that you're doing everything within what you control, and maybe this is maybe not you will have the answer to this, and maybe it's something for future consideration. Is as we roll out this project, there will be a residual effect to the surrounding area. And do we know what other projects there are that will complement affordable, that maybe in the area of affordable housing that we know are coming, that will help to alleviate some of the concerns that are coming or that are being expressed? So I think it may be, this is not maybe something that you can answer, but maybe that something that the aldermen or the adjoining aldermen can address in the future. And with that, will there be, like when you do the construction meeting, will there be an email or something that people can still share their concerns and comments?
Oh, that's a good point. You know what? We are not going to stop engaging the community. That's just being smart. It's like, if you want people to use something, you need to get their input and thoughts. Again, the reason why we're not putting up the affordable housing, we don't have enough information to do it the right way. I want to do it the right way. I want to make sure that when it goes up, you're happy with it. You're happy with everything about it. So, that's why we're not rushing into that one area. And, I will tell you that, are there going to be mistakes along the way? Sure. But as long as we keep you involved, all right, believe me, other than the gentleman that I know wants to, beat me up after I leave here, other than somebody like that, man, I look forward to your input. I look forward to you telling us, what about this? Or what about, making sure that you take care of people that don't have money in the hospital? Or what about affordable housing, so this way it's not out of our reach? That's about you. That's what we hear from you. And I promise you, okay, yeah, we're going to have mistakes along the way, but I'm hoping you'll keep us on track. That's all I get. That's really, I'm just being honest with you. I hope 5 years from now you'll say, I can't remember the guy's name, but I know that he was honest with us. That's all I care about. Okay?
Guy, we have
Thank
two
you.
points.
We have more questions. Why does the city want to cross streets now? What is the rationale benefit? In Italian, we say, come say pazzo, okay? I got no idea why they want this. He said that all the streets should be like city grids. And he said, I don't want a campus. I disagree with him. But other than that, he gave me no real reason. If all the money goes to the city, why are they stalling the project? Good question. Good question, okay? Yeah, the money's they're gonna get $5 million for installing the project, right? So I want you to think about it. How much sense does that make? So, but the alderman is helping us, so that's good. Thank you, guys, we're done, thank you. Thank you very much.